Yeah, how's everybody doing? Hey Chris, how you doing, mate? Kai, how you doing? What else we got in here? Let's have a look. Brett, how you doing, man? Yeah, glad you catch the start, Brett. Normally we only see you at the end. Yeah, so good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Vlad, how you doing? John, evening. Anders, good to see you again, buddy. Mark, how you doing? Chris says, yeah, good, thanks. Glad to be finally back. Now that the summer classes are done. Oh, okay. So what? You just got a bit more free time, right? Rafaela, how you doing? How's it going in Switzerland? What's the weather like with you, Rafaela? It's been nothing but drizzle and grey here, but I hear everybody in Europe is enjoying the sun, so really pleased for you. But yeah, how's everybody doing? And yeah, okay. So we got. I mean, so Brett, I know what I know. Obviously, you're in the US, but are you in LA at the moment? Vegas? Where are you? Vlad, where are you? You're in. Again, you're in what? It's not Romania, is it? Where are you in, Vlad? Um, Obviously, we got Kai. Where are you based, Kai? Were you Norway? Yeah, Norway. Okay. Oh, I can cheat because you can't see me cheating. Oh, okay. I can't see where Vlad's from. I can see Kai's in Norway. John, not sure. Anders. Now he's over there in. Where are you from? Where are you based in, Anders? Sweden or something. Okay. I see you. You reigned in Germany as well. So who's got all this good weather I keep hearing about on the news then, John? Like, is it just Greece? Just got it, all of it combined. Poor buggers. Oh, it is Romania, Vlad. Okay. Transylvania. I'll have to remember that for next time. That'll definitely help. Yeah. Rafaela says after 2 weeks, 35 degrees. It's been raining for 2 days now. Okay, so we had I think we had a scorching May, and then it was just like we had our summer, and that was it. Done. Job done. And a Sweden. Yeah. Nice one. So got a good mix. Good mix of people here. Obviously, just gone lunchtime for Brett, but the rest of us European folk, couple hours ahead of me here. But yeah, everybody's on the same page pretty much. It's good. You're in Cannes, Brett. Oh, you over here already? Just humble brag. Just in Cannes. Nice. What's like? Obviously, it's beautiful there. Come on. Been 42 degrees here the last 2 months. Holy hell, Chris. Damn. Or you're in Texas, Chris? Is that right? Really hope I just didn't get that completely wrong. Yeah. Right. Classic British introduction there, talking about the weather. Streams off to a flying start, guys. Absolutely nailing this one. Been away haven't done one in 3 weeks. Fell back into the how's the weather going with everybody. Can't believe it's come to that. But yeah, there you go. We did it. Right. So yeah, welcome. If you're new here, is anybody new here? Maybe it's just the regular folks that are chatting. Maybe there's new people loitering in the wings. You're in an Airbnb, Brett. Nice. What's the Wi-Fi like? You just on little Timmy's 4G in the corner. I've been to some Airbnbs and it's just been nope, no Wi-Fi. Sorry. Vlad, it's always raining in Transylvania. Like, come on. When have you seen Transylvania with like the beating sun? Right? You gotta let it go. Yeah. It's always dusk, foggy, misty, pima rain. Embrace it. You see part of my face. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like stop animation. Yeah. Hey Andrew, how you doing, man? How you doing? Crash, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, any new people? Probably not, because unless you're just too afraid to say something of this rowdy lot, which I get, I get. Hey Phil, how you doing? Just got on at Heathrow, thankfully going back home to Singapore. Nice. Oh, you get warmer rain over there. Yeah, it's far better than the cold rain that we get here. Yeah, absolutely. You must be missing the warm rain. But yeah, safe travels, Phil. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. I'll put some of my shots in the comments today. Shoot with tone of mist in here lately. Nice. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, so what we're doing every couple of weeks, or usually every couple of weeks, do a live stream. And during the live stream, what I do is usually have a chat about something, topic, discuss something, or I go through something. And then the second half, we usually just go through looking at your shots, right? So images that you've submitted. So let's have a look. Let's get this. Going here. Let's come back to. So yesterday's post is this image here on my Facebook page. So if you want to share a shot for everybody to look at, don't be put off. I know everybody's work is incredible here, but everybody's welcome to post something. Love to see everybody at different stages. And yeah, just scroll back yesterday's post. It's this one here called Share a Shoot. Pop your image in the comments and we will go through it later. I apologize if you can hear my dog crying there. The wife's gone out to the gym and he's here pestering me. But so yeah, do that. So what are we doing today? Today we are going to be going over. I did a burlesque shoot late last week. Was it Thursday, Friday, something like that? And I just thought I'd kind of share my thoughts on it. Really, the reason being was because it's kind of interesting. It was a bit of a last minute thing, kind of not unscheduled, but maybe there was a bit of a cross communication of what was going to be involved. So it's very sort of thinking on your feet. Right, you got 2 hours to do this shoot and go basically, which is fine. I've worked in a busy studio for many years, so there's certainly that's just part of the job. But it is interesting, going through that sort of thing and thinking about, okay, what do we need to make sure we're doing, like what are the clothes, what's the scene, what are we trying to do with this and that sort of thing. So kind of breaking that down and then just going over some of the lighting setups that I put together there on the day with the rotor lights. Okay, so go over that. Let's have a look. The weather's great out here in Guatemala. Is that where you are, Andrew? You better not be. You're kidding me. No train strikes. I know, John. Yeah. We have I mean, there will be later on in the week. Yeah. Don't get me started on the train strikes because look. Everybody wants more money, right? I get it. Like I understand why they're doing it, and look, we would all like to go on strike and get more money. But yeah, it's certainly been a pain in the ass. Mainly because I deal with a lot of young people, young models. People get into shoots and that sort of thing. I've had several shoots cancelled, put back, workshop put back, end of the month. And you go, oh well, you haven't cancelled the job. No, but that's work that I can't be doing next month. So you've just lost all that. Anyway, look, I'm not going to rant about it, John. I know you tried to. I would never, but yes. So we have been given a respite from the train strikes. They will be, I think, going on midweek until the weekend, and I got a shoot on Monday, which. Again, that was one of the shoots that was put back because of it. So, fingers crossed that goes ahead. I forgot what I was saying. Probably ranted about something else. Yeah. You put the foggy shots in. Nice, lad. Nice. Better be some spooky castle in the background. So yeah, let's have a look there. Oh, so okay, so what I did want to kind of talk about as well before we got stuck into that shoot breakdown, I kind of wanted to ask you guys a couple of couple of questions really. See if anybody had a solution. I know we got some clever buggers here in chat, so maybe you can help me out with this. Let me just pop to full screen here a second. I really do need to get a Stream Deck. So forgive me if the microphone's bugging out whilst I look at this. So you guys remember this thing, right? Get ready for some flare. Oh, look at that. Look at that lens, just absolutely popping off. I'm getting distracted. So yeah, this thing. So this is a Godox spotlight. So let me just pop back here. I think I did have it. Let's have a look. Did I grab it here? Yeah. So this thing, right? I've had this thing for a few weeks now, and I've done 2, 3, maybe more shoots with it. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, this thing is incredible, right? Absolutely, love it, absolutely love it to bits. And I did a shoot here, so this is why I cancelled the live stream last week, because we're doing a shoot last Tuesday, and I'm using this kind of spotlight thing here to create some of these shots. Right now, I think I used it. I think I may have used it here as well. Shoot the other day. Yeah, definitely used it in here as well. Yeah. So what did I say? I said, so last week I said, so very colourful, incredible modifier. I've had the new Godox Spotlight for a few weeks. I've only now started to put a few lighting concepts into practice with it. I've got to say I'm extremely impressed. So the Spotlight does have potential major downside that I need to explain, as it's an odd one. So I am going to put together a review and an article on this. And like I said, it is, I think I went on there to say that it is like top 5 modifiers of all time for me, maybe top 3. I think it's incredibly versatile. The one big major downside that it has is the lights that it can work with. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Has anybody used this, by the way, or are you guys using like optical snoots and that sort of thing, right? Which is like, this is, so basically what that is, that's is like the big daddy of this, which is bar the lackey bands on it, is just an optical snoot, right? So now it is a serious upgrade, and let me just go over some of the major kind of downside, maybe a downside, and see if you guys have got a solution for me. So this is obviously half of it here, and then this is the light at the back. So I'm just going to take that light off. And I want to, okay, so this is where the light goes. This is the S-fit attachment there, right? And then, light comes out at that end. So this is the issue that I have. Let me just try and find something to kind of illustrate what I mean. Okay, so this, right? So the issue that I have is that that's as far in as any light will go, as in flash tube, tungsten bulb, whatever. Okay, now that works fine for the light that I've been using it with, right? Which is the Godox SZ150R. So as you can see there, like the profile, just trying to show you some contrast with that. So that like the profile of that bulb, very, very low, right? So it doesn't go in very far. Okay. So here is just a regular strobe, right? This is the Godox City. Oh, this is the Pixel Pro version, but yeah, this is the City 600 Pro. Okay, so this is the flash tube, right, and its casing. right? Now, a lot of these are all easy to change, right? It's not like years ago where you have to send them off and somebody would have to, unscrew and wire them up and all that sort of shit. You just buy the actual housing section now. So a lot of these flashes all come with this. Okay, now that is not going to go in the back of that spotlight, right? So this is the issue that I have. Okay, so because it just sticks out. That's as far in as that goes. Okay, just going to close the door a second. So, okay, Jake, that's one light. What about other lights and that sort of thing? So I've got I've been shooting for 20 years, especially in the studio, pretty much all flash. So I've got countless flashes here. Okay. Either ones that have been given to me or ones that I bought over the years and that sort of thing. So I've got scores and scores of them here, and none of them fit. Okay. Now the only ones that I could kind of make work here was a very old one here, which is a very cheap flash, but excellent. Like it's only 120 quid or something like that. This is the Pixar Pro Lumi. Okay. Now, as we can see here, right, very low profile flash. That's the flash tube. Now this will fit, but this is the modeling bulb. Okay, so obviously with the modeling bulb and like the housing, it doesn't fit, right? So yes, I can get the flash to fit in there as long as I remove the modeling bulb, so it will go in. Now I've been chatting to a guy online. He's doing experiments with projectors and spotlights and all that sort of stuff, and we've been chatting for a while now, backwards and forwards, about some of the issues and problems that we've encountered. And he made a really good suggestion. He said, well, my mate has got something, had an issue with tungsten bulb or heat or something like that. So what he did was get LED bulbs, right? LED modeling bulbs. So that's what this is, right? This is a screw fit LED modeling bulb, right? And he said, why don't you get one of those, very low profile. I was like, man, I sure I measured it, right? But even when I kind of measured it, it's still it like somewhere along the lines, it's still, even with this very low profile modeling bulb, still doesn't quite fit. So this is the issue that I'm at now, right? I'm going to read your comments in a second. I just wanted to explain the situation of where I'm at. So this is the issue that I'm at right now. Absolutely love this modifier. Outstanding. Like, so versatile. So many different things that I've been able to do with it in recent weeks. It's really been the solution to so many issues that I've had with some of the issues with optical snoots and that sort of thing that I've had in the past. This fixes all of those. But there is a major downside in the fact that I can't use it with flash. Okay, as at the moment, and I can use it with that Godox SZ150R thing or whatever it is. So doable is just 150 stands for how bright it is. So it's not super bright. Now I'm in a controlled studio, so it's fine. It's fine to to make it work with that 150 power. But if there was a way that I could try and get like something to work, I even tried the, what are they called, like the little speed light things, that the 80-200s, yeah, is that what they're called, right? The little speed light things. So I even bought a bracket, S-fit bracket, because I don't normally use speed lights or the 80-200, so I even have one of those. I was like, right, I'll just get an S-fit bracket, put the 80-200 in there, boom. Now again, you're stuck with the issue that has an exposed bulb, okay, which is great, but it also has an attachment for the modeling bulb. Now sadly, the attachment which has the modeling bulb, which is like a speed light, it's just terrible. Yeah, it is just terrible. It just blasts light out. It doesn't spread the light evenly across that. So So the 8200 thing didn't work with a SFIT thing. I thought, okay, that could be a solution because I can, bring it further out, right? But no. So I can get it to work. I just don't have a modeling bulb, so I can't focus it, right? You think, well, Jake, you don't need a modeling bulb. Come on. I'm sure you've used modifiers without modeling bulbs before. Yeah, you're right. But you can't focus it, right? It's very difficult because you need to focus that optical, this spotlight, especially if you're doing, maybe you're doing like fine lines, like slits of light and that sort of thing. If you haven't got a modeling bulb, you've got no idea where that slit of light is falling on the subject, right? So yeah. So a couple of issues to work around there. Let's see what you guys have said in the comments there. Let's have a look. And if you've got any questions about any of this, but far away. So what do I get here? C. Chris is using the Westcott one. Yeah, very familiar with that one. Yeah. So Kai says using the optical snoop for now until I can shift fully to LED. Interesting, Kai. Okay, so you already made that correlation then between between having the LEDs and this spotlight. So maybe you already knew. Maybe it's just me who I didn't. I thought this, although everybody uses this spotlight in like cinema and theater and that sort of thing, it just says SFIT. So I was like, okay, cool. I can just use any SFIT flash with it. So yeah, maybe that's just me being daft and like, yeah, you can only use LEDs with it. Now I'm sure Godox don't want you using flash with it. I think one of the reasons being is that they keep saying, I think it might even say like a warning on the side. Oh, it says do not correlate with LED lights over 300 watts. So I mean, even they're assuming that you're going to be using LED lights, and they're saying that you can only really use 300 watts. So yeah, maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just like, look, it's an LED modifier, live with it. So Phil says, I saw the live stream after the fact where you discussed the Godox. I bought the thing, but to use with strobes, used it once, maybe twice this week. So in terms of Godox strobes, 8400 is useless, 300 works, and a chroma strobe. Oh, Phil, okay. Well, Phil, I am, yeah. So look, I have to give an apology, because when I was talking about it before, I was just showing it on stream and on videos and that sort of thing, and I was just using the LED. Didn't even cross my mind to put a strobe in it until the other day, when I was like, okay, I need a bit more power and that sort of thing. Boom, couldn't do it. So Phil, hopefully I didn't lead you astray with that, because it is an incredible modifier. It's absolutely outstanding. It's just that you are kind of limited to the strobes, but you have found a workaround in terms of the Godox strobes. The 8400 is useless. Yeah, so it's exactly what I was just saying. Yeah, the 300 works, and an elechrome strobe. So the elechrome strobes, what they work because they have no modeling bulb. Do they make something like an extension tube for flash mounts? So that was something I thought about, John. Yeah, I was trying to think, like, almost I was looking for an SFIT bracket to an SFIT bracket. Obviously that doesn't exist, but you're right? Because you could get like an SFIT to ProPhoto and vice versa and that sort of thing, and they're just a bracket stepped on, with like a bracket on a bracket, which would give you enough depth. But I couldn't find anything like SFIT to SFIT, obviously. But yeah. Modeling bulb is basically E14. You could probably get a small bulb at E14. Yeah, exactly. So great idea, Vlad. You're already ahead of me on that one. And yeah, that it's like that's the smallest one I could find. I don't even know. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, so that one, that little fella, is the smallest one I could find. Which is small. But I doubt I'll find anything smaller than that. But halogen bulb, that is an electron fitted, but could focus the modeling bulb. So you're using it without. As a result, I lost a comment. So you're using it. Let me just have a look at this electron light a second. Do you know what electron you're using? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, they're pretty low. But you're using it with a bracket, yeah? Because obviously it's not S-fit. Great photo, guys. Well done. Great photo. See, that's kind of interesting. Like that flash tube is almost recessed. It's just kind of interesting. Yeah, it actually goes in, right? And then okay. I shoot Electron and I often use Electron to S mount adapter, which adds about 3 to 4 centimeters to the flange distance. Do you have a non S mount light that you could get an adapter for? Yeah, it's a good idea, Mark. Yeah, maybe that is. Maybe that is a solution then, is ironically to go just get like a cheap I mean, yeah, like an Electron maybe. Yeah, maybe that is a thing, and then you get best of both then. I'm assuming there is no optional mounts for it then. Not in terms of the S-fit at the end, because this whole thing, I think the reason why it's so goddamn heavy, and it is super heavy, I don't know whether it actually tells you how heavy it is here. No, I mean it weighs a ton, and the reason being it's just all metal, and even that back part there is all metal, because you put the actual modifier on the light stand and then you hang the strobe off the back, right? So yeah, that thing is absolutely rock solid. So it doesn't come with any various or different ones. See, they're using it there as well. Yeah. Yeah. Who takes these pictures? Okay. What you got here then, Vlad? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a really good idea, and I think that may even be longer than the one that I found, as in, you know, yeah. But it is a good idea. I will keep an eye out just in case I ever see something even smaller than that. But I'm not. I haven't got my hopes up. Yeah, this is what I was. Yeah, this is what I was kind of thinking. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, see, that would probably do it. Yeah, which is kind of weird, right? So if I could just maybe if I just grab a secondhand Electron off eBay or something like that, kind of weird, because I've got a couple I think I've got these brackets for other lights as well, not the Electron ones, but that may be a way to go. Yeah, maybe a way to go. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Problem I have with Westcott is it frequently causes the modern lamp to essentially overheat, so I run it into some of the problem where I can't see the shape, and it's almost impossible to use then, Chris, right? Yeah, very, very difficult to use. And are you running what strobes are you running, Chris? Are you running the Electrons, did you say? Or no, somebody else is running the Electrons. Yeah, so anything that's not an LED modeling bulb. So this gets hot even with a 150 LED in it. This gets hot because it's just encased, and it has to be encased to try and minimize light spill, right? One of the biggest issues that I have with the optical snoots is, and I don't know if anybody else can agree with me on this one, but one of the biggest issues I have with this is that can you see that massive gap there, right? It's a huge gap. They literally fit your hand in there. Tons of light comes out of that, and there's some light that comes out the back here as well, and they've kind of done that to kind of safeguard themselves, right? Well, we'd far rather them have light spill than it catching fire and melting and costing us a fortune. Don't ever do this, okay? But this is what I use for my optical snoot, right? I've got this. I don't know what the hell this is, but like a I don't know, it's like a neck warmer or something, right? And like I said, do not ever do this because this not safe. But if I'm just using an LED modeling bulb, then I literally have my optical snoot encased in this thing, and then it's like a light shroud. Okay, so that's to kind of minimize it as well. But because they are, as you say, they just overheat. Right? So yeah, so A, they're either just spill light everywhere, or B, they're encased, don't spill light everywhere, but practically catch fire. So yeah, it's a tough one. Remember early reviews of it that said best for LEDs. Absolutely, Kai. Yeah, I would hands down agree with that based on what I'm dealing with here. One other area that I kind of haven't been able to test, I suppose I should do, with the because I can use the flash, I just don't have a modeling bulb, so I could take the time to put the LED on, focus it, remove the LED, put the flash on, and fire it just to see what it looks like. Because my concern is not concern's a bit of a strong word, but my kind of inkling is that it won't be as clean with a flash as it is with the LED. So this is the LED that I use, and obviously look at that beautiful dome, and there's obviously a square of LEDs in there that you can't see, but it's a very clean, even, very soft light that comes out of that straight out the gate. Right now, that curve there, I know you can't see it, but that snugs up perfectly to the curved lens that's in there, right at the back, that you can't see. Okay. So there's a curved lens in there. All right, you can kind of see it there, and that snugs up like right against it perfectly. Right now, as a result, you get this incredibly clean, even light. And I mean edge to edge, right? So you fire that circle. I don't think I think yeah, on the original stream I showed you what the optical snoot looked like compared to this, and that was very vignetted compared to that, which was just like clean edge to edge. Now that is, I think, because of that snugging up against the back of it, and you've got that LED frosted light being like coming out from the start, coming out from the back of it there. I would assume that a flash tube, which is, you know, almost like a incomplete torus, it is not going to do the same thing. So I should test it. Yeah, I should definitely test it. Let's see. AliExpress, get in there. Let's see if we got here. It might be any better. Yeah, it's definitely along the right lines, isn't it? Nice. This is what I love to see. Somebody not just writing it down. Somebody giving me down to the micron of how long it is. What a legend! Interesting. So what do we got there? 5.1. Yeah, interesting. Okay, interesting. I wonder what that is. Because this is real, like this one's real close, like real close. So this one is, ooh, could be Vlad. This is 6. All right, this is 6. So as in, you know, 60 mil, 6 centimeters. So, and that is coming in at, I wonder, but is that end there is the babber end of this fat chunky one, right? So maybe that's not going to work. Yeah. I'll have a look at that there, Vlad. Yeah, good one. 300 with the bracket. So is that with the? That's with the. So actually, to get a what did we say? Ellencrom with a bracket, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, if it gives me options, it's worth it, in my opinion. like I'm over the moon with the LED that I've got. But obviously, if you don't have that, then it's it's good to know. The Jinbei should work too. The modeling bulb with an LED. The Jinbei? I am not familiar with that, Raphael. What's that? Hey Sam, how you doing, man? LE 500 HD Pro halogen bulb. Okay. You probably won't be able to find an S-Fit to S-Fit adapter, right? I can't imagine there's a huge market for it, right, John? Yeah. But if you can get one with a male side and one with a female side, it shouldn't be too hard to hack the two together. Exactly what I was thinking. Just have to be sure it holds up to the weight. That was the other issue as well. Like anything that I put in there in terms of, because it's just hanging off it's just literally just hanging out the arse of it. So like it's not, the bracket is, I mean, to be fair, there is like modifiers are heavy. It's just the same issue in reverse, right? You put a heavy modifier on the front of a light. It's just that this time the light is the heavy part of the modifier. So it might be possible, yeah. I'm using Flashpoint 600 watt. So what's the Flashpoint is that's the Godox, right? Though that's the same as what I just got there. Is Flashpoint the US version of that? The City 600 that we have here in the UK? Is that what that is? Yeah. Oh, Jinbei's a light. Man, I am learning tons tonight. Okay. Rafaela just dropping that knowledge bomb just casually. Let's have a look. I can honestly say I have never heard of these. Yeah. So what are they make LED lights? Well, made in Shanghai. Interesting. Okay. So are they just cheaper than I forgot you guys couldn't see. So this Jinbei, yeah, they're just cheaper versions of the Godox ones. I mean, that's essentially that's what's in that Godox light I just showed you, the SZ150R. I wish it were just those stupid names, but essentially this is exactly what's in there without the frosted dome, right? I don't know how much they are. Whether you can even get them in the UK. There you go. Learned something new. Yeah. I have a Fusion Bear in the profile's pretty flat. Yeah, Rafaela and Mark. Yeah, you guys nailed it. Rafaela coming in there with clutch, which is good. Yeah, like you. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Rafaela. It is absolutely zero profile on that. Yeah, S-Fit as well. But again, similar issue to what I've got in that I've got the LED light. But if other people were looking at getting the spotlight and we're like, I'm already spending a lot on the modifier and I don't want to buy a whole new LED light. I presume these are affordable for sure. Yeah. Also, I'm thinking you might have some focusing problems with the adapters. This is the thing as well, Vlad, yeah, with that light coming further out. And this is what I found when I was jerry-rigging the AD200 into that, was that like the image coming out wasn't clean. And maybe that's because it was the damn speed light that's just firing it out of a tunnel. But yes, yeah, it is a major concern with regards to is it just going to be clean enough? Because if it's not, it's just not worth using a flash. So I think the next thing I need to do is, before I go too far down the rabbit hole, you guys have made some excellent suggestions, but before I go too far down the rabbit hole, test it with this fella. So obviously remove the housing and the LED modeling bulb in there. Maybe put the Godox one in there, focus it all with the LED light, take that off and put this in, and then fire the flash just to see what the quality of the light looks like. Maybe I'll do that before I get too deep into it, because if this because most flashes are going to be similar to this in terms of the torus ring flash, the torus ring there. So like if it looks shit with that, then chances are it'll look crappy with other ones as well. So yeah, maybe that's the next step. Yeah. AliExpress is really good actually, having products. Do you know what? I know my wife uses AliExpress all the time. I really don't. Yeah, I haven't. I should really get into the habit of checking there a bit more often. Hey Darius, how you doing, man? But the one you have is E14 and E27. Yeah, so the one that I've got is the fat fella. Yeah. And I think the one that you suggested was like the Christmas tree width. Yeah. There's a big one. What does it say on here? So it says, yeah. What did you say? E27 exactly. Yes. This is the E27. So it's the fatter one. I got excited then because the one that you posted would have been a perfect size. It's too thin at that end. Yeah. This is great. If you within striking distance of South London, you can pop over to my studio and test my Ellen crumbs. Yeah, nice, Mark. Yeah. I mean, that's not the craziest idea. To be fair, I am up there a fair bit. If it didn't weigh an absolute ton, yeah, it's not a bad idea. But thank you, there, Mark. Yeah, it's good. It's a good shout. I appreciate that. Yeah, where are you in? You say you're in South London. Okay, I am. I do come in through the south, yeah. Now the 80-300 with the bracket. Oh, gotcha, Phil. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Because it's pretty much Godox and Flashpoint is the same, just different banners. Absolutely, Kai. Yeah, I think Flashpoint is just the American rebrand, and Pixar Pro is the English rebrand. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. So Rafaela coming in with the, what was it called again? Right in front of you, Jake. Jimbei. I think we all know I nailed that pronunciation. Oh, so it's a German company or not? Or are you just sending me because you're in Germany and you're just sending it to me? I don't know. What's this nonsense? Wants to, Christ alive, what's it like these days? Okay, so they got what then? They do flashes as well. They got flashes there. Euros. I'll have a look at this. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Studio Flash. 150 euros. What is the exchange rate these days? It's terrible for us here in the UK, right? That's what we got there. I promise we'll crack on with the stream in a second, guys. So, what power is that? $600 strobe, 149 euros. Really? 130 quid. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What's it got on the back there? That's just got everything you need. Yeah, here you go. Up, down, slave on, plug in. Yeah, it's got a sync port there. I mean, it does like 90% of what you need. Yeah, for 130 quid. Yeah, I mean, obviously, postage and that sort of stuff would probably be excessive, but yeah, I have never heard of them, guys. Yeah, so thanks for making me aware of those. Good deal. That's a lot cheaper than Godox Rafaela. Yeah. Let's have a look. My Fellwood light looks exactly like the Jimbei head. Again, another one I haven't heard of. There's so many lights out there. Fellworld. I'm just gonna look at this real quick, and then we will crack on. I promise. You guys are winding up. Somebody's gonna put something in the chat in a minute and just gonna be like, oh yeah, there's this random word with a light after it, and I'm gonna Google it and get caught out. That's not a suggestion for you guys to do that, by the way. Oh, look at this little fella. Okay, they're pretty snazzy looking, yeah. So that's 225 watt by color, 350 quid, LED. Yeah, okay. All right. I take it that's S-fit as well, Vlad, yeah? What about adapting a light bulb screw to one? What about adapting the light bulb screw to the one of the smaller thread bulb? Yeah, I thought that as we were kind of talking about it, and you may be able to find something like a housing that was just wider, but yeah, might be worth a look. Yeah. The EF are continuous light, and the HD and DF are flash. Gotcha. Yeah. This no, it's Chinese. Right, of course it is. Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, we're almost caught up on the comments here. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Look, guys, I appreciate all your ideas and stuff. That's a good idea. Oh yeah, you could do. Yeah, that's interesting, Vlad. Yeah, you could do those just straight out, because I'm not using it for anything other than to focus, so I'm not worried about how bad it looks. Yeah, that's true. I could do something like that. I didn't even think about those, because we have these in the kitchen, but they're the little the prongs. I never thought about that. That's still 55 though. That's still, it just comes in. That's 6. It's just not enough. 55 might do it. Yeah. And that's 50 across. Just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. Would that get in the way of this? I don't. It might not. So I'm just trying to see, would it get in the way of that if it's 50 mil across? So that torus is. The torus is kind of. Okay, so the diameter at the center of that torus there is 4.5, and that is 50. May work. I mean, for the sake of the cost of that's probably worth grabbing them just to test it. Yeah. Good shout though, man. Yeah, good shout. Good idea. If I don't smash one of these flash tubes by the end of this stream, it'll be a miracle. Terrible, and you would be shocked if you had to suffer the knock to JHP these days. Oh, really, Kai? Really? Okay. Oh, I thought we were. I thought we were the worst here. I know, because at the moment the dollar is really strong against us, right? So, like the videos and stuff that are selling through the American company, it's great at the moment, in terms of the exchange rate for that. It's just that you can't do anything with that money here. It's useless. I felt robbed when I was in the UK this summer. Glad you enjoyed yourself, Kai, mate. Yeah, we aim to please. Thanks for your custom. Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, I forgot you guys still had a knock. Yeah, I mean, that's me being ignorant. But just in terms of everything outside, i.e. in Europe, I just assume is in the euro. I'd forgotten about that. That's rough though, man. That's rough. Yeah. Yeah. Right. That's good though, guys. That's good. I really appreciate all those ideas. That's given me. I'm glad I thought to ask you guys, because I've been racking my brains a week or so trying to think about it. I thought, well, I'll just I'll run this by you guys on here, because I know we got some smart buggers in it. So I thought I'd give it a go, and you guys came through for sure. Lots of good ideas. We'll try the adapter S-fit to whatever it is. Maybe, you know, if I can pick up a cheap Elinchron, that might be an idea. Or like Vlad suggested here at the end, it's maybe to try one of these flat disc things. Like, may work. Be definitely worth trying it. And then what John said about see if you can get like a housing for the E14 to the E27 or whatever it is. That could work as well. Do the modeling lights use the standard 220 volts like the normal light bulb? Yes, yeah, they do. Yeah, just the screw in. Yeah, so because the ones that usually it's the screw in modeling bulbs are on all the cabled strobes. So if you want to save money on a strobe like these fellas here, which I would recommend to anybody starting out, and it's great that Rafaela has managed to get in the door of studio lighting, as it were. With these, because they do like 90% of what you need, right? How often do you really need, high speed sync and all that crap? You can do like the vast majority of work with these basic lights. But yes, when you buy these cheap ones like the plugins, a lot of them do tend to have the screw-in modeling bulbs. Now these ones are not. These ones are the LED in the middle, which is actually kind of best of both worlds, really. Because that's why I'm surprised at the price of them, because normally it's like super cheap. They're just giving you a bulb which costs you nothing, but here they have LEDs in them as well, which usually makes them a bit more expensive. But it's great. These little fellas got the best of both worlds. Yeah. And I can't believe I haven't heard of them. Yeah, it's cool though. Yeah. Right then, let's have a look. God, what a mess I've just made of this bloody, this desk. Right, let's get cracking then. Let's just tidy up a little bit, so I don't smash anything. But these things, man, get so hot. Like back in the day when you're shooting gels, you just go through scores of gels with the bloody, because you could turn them down low. Some of the old lights didn't even have adjustable modeling bulbs, so it was just on the entire time. So when we were gelling lights back in the day, you just go through scores of them. You just find a little puddle of pink goo on the floor, and it's like, well, that's another gel gone. Right. So appreciate that. Anybody got any questions on anything we just gone over there, then by all means let me know, but otherwise we will crack on. So like I said, we'll have a chat about just going through recent shoot in Lightroom here. So yeah, this was just a shoot we did last week, and it was kind of like a little bit impromptu, because it was these guys, they've got their studio there in Hackney Wick, which I've never been to in London. It's actually really cool, arty area. But these guys, so these guys do, it's a studio, but they do like this drawing cabaret couture, which they do every Thursday. So what they do is like they have people come in, and they have live streaming, so they have a camera and stuff set up. I think you might be able to see that there, and then they have people tune in from all over the world to do drawing classes with these setups and shoots and stuff. And yeah, really cool. So this one, the one we did, this is the shoot. So that was me, actually. There you go, it's me there. You see me holding that dirty bit of plastic in front of my lens. Got caught in the act. You see that? Wait for it. Oh no, wait for it. There it is. Yeah. How's your Nikon, Jake? Really good, really good. Love this bit of Tupperware plastic in front of it. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, yeah. So I was down visiting these guys, and they'd kind of said at the time, like, come down, Jake. Come say hi and that sort of stuff. And they'd set it up for this drawing thing. And I'd assumed I was going to go down there. I was just, sure, grab a couple of shots. They were going to do some drawing. Anyway, I got there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, great. We got 2 hours. Let's get started with the shoot." So I didn't realize I was going to be shooting But yeah, so they had some rotolights. They now work with rotolights. They got some rotolights in there, and they were like, this model come in, and she wanted like three different outfits, I think. So so we did that. So it's very sort of quick and cracking on with it. He's actually an incredible painter. He does a lot of oil paintings and that sort of thing, and so he makes these backdrops as well as does his own painting and that sort of thing. But yeah, so he's got tons of these backdrops as well. I'll show you some more of that in a second. But yeah, interesting shoot. And like I think I've had a couple of cabaret shoots in the last 2 weeks. The first girl was more of a model with regards to, like, she knew what I was doing, and how can I put it? So it was this young lady here. So Miriam, incredible. Those of you in around London, that sort of thing, she's based in London. If you get the chance to work with Miriam, she's just absolutely gorgeous model, incredible. But that's, she does cabaret and that sort of thing, but burlesque, whatever. Yeah, I'm being super ignorant about it, so I apologize. The biggest difference that I found here was I'm not used to my model smiling. So when we were doing this shoot, she kept smiling. I was like, of course, that's part of the, like the act and that sort of thing, and that's, her images, that's what she wants. Normally I'd be like, yeah, can we lose the smile? Editorial, we want to be heroin chic. We want to look really pissed off and spit in your eye, professional model. So when she was smiling and stuff, it was like, okay, I need to be aware of that. But yeah, so we did 3 setups here. So the first one, let's just go have a look at what we did. Yeah, so here they didn't have any flashes. They just had the rotolights, and we needed one extra light. And that one extra light was like this sort of like tungsten hot light Ari thing in the corner. So I was just getting this kind of set up in the background, and I'm trying to get some light back there. We didn't have an extra rotolight for that background, so I was just making it work with the tungsten in terms of like the white balancing. Because that tungsten light, I couldn't put a gel on it. It would just catch fire instantly. So I was going to correct the rotolights against that. So as you can see, this is a tungsten light back here, but we've neutralized it with the camera, and then we're adjusting the lights to try and compensate for that as well, adjusting the rotolights with the kelvins. So let me just show you the setup real quick. So I managed to download some videos. Excuse me. So I think we got some of these here. So you can kind of see the setup here. So we've got a rotolight above her there, and which is an EOS 2 Pro up there, and then we got a Neo 3 Pro back there. Okay, so that's my key light, right? Is that EOS 2 Pro above, and that's just on a C stand, so that I can have it directly above her without the light stand getting in the way of the shot, right? Because you can see where I am there is right in front. Yeah, so I've just got that, and then I've just got this. Really, what I want that to do is to create that flare. So this is a Neo 3 in the top right there, to kind of cast some flare into the actual shot. And that, you saw me holding that bit of plastic in front of the lens there. So that's what's creating the flare, okay, which is like a diffusion filter. Now that really only works when it's just out of shot, and you can see here it's just out of shot, right? So yeah, it really only works when it's just out of shot, and it's just creating this gorgeous kind of glow coming in, right? Now there is another light in this setup that I don't know whether you can see maybe you can see it in this one. Oh, you do? There you go. Okay, so yeah, so let me just, so you see it there right at the start. So this is an EOS 2 Pro set to that kind of bluey turquoisey color, and that's just bounced off some white polystyrene boards here. So that's the other light that you can't really see. So we have our glow light up there, and then we have our key light, which is just here. It's just 3 lights. Okay. There you go, up there. Now, one thing there's a couple of things going on here that I find super interesting, that I was kind of dealing with like on the fly, and it's all happening like pretty quickly, and it does kind of come with experience. But yeah, let me just so we've got, so this is the background, right? She is there. We've got our polystyrene board here. We've got our EOS here. We have our little Neo there, and then we have our key light on a C stand here, right? Now, what you can't see in any of these shots is there is an array over here shining onto the background. Okay, so this array is tungsten, which is very orange. Yeah, so I was able to very quickly make this key light, for example, blue through the Kelvin. So, you know, crank it up to, I don't know, like 10,000 or something like that, because I'm trying to counteract this orange back here, and I've counteracted that in the camera, and then I've made this light blue with the Kelvin, and that's the only kind of white light in the shot. This is supposedly white, and rather than putting a CTB gel on it, I've decided to correct it in the camera and then correct these lights accordingly as well. So I appreciate that may not seem like a big deal. What makes this a big deal for me in terms of ease of use on the day is that, sure, you could go, well, Jay, you could just throw a CTB on a flash here and off you go. Yes, I agree, you could do that. Now, I can just quickly switch the EOS 2 there to 10,000 Kelvin to counteract that. That's cool. But what happens now is when we have these other two colored lights, so we've got this orange light here and this blue light here, what happens is we would kind of need to color correct those as well. And you go, well, they're already colors, so do you really need to color correct them? And yes, you do. So again, one of the benefits of these rotor lights for me here was, when doing this setup, was I was able to micromanage this kind of cyan tealy blue color, because it looks super like greeny, like petrol-y here, but on the day it's not that color, because like the Kelvin in the camera is skewing it. So you're able to micromanage the colors just instantly with these LEDs, which enables you to be very, very quick. So when I originally put my favorite color blue on there, it just looked crappy because the camera was so blue to begin with. So I was able to, you know, adjust this and adjust that to kind of counteract those Kelvins in the camera. So again, you know, nothing crazy going on here. Sure, I'm just adding that diffusion filter on the lens to try and get me just a little bit of, you know, interest in the shot, just in terms of that glow, which helps, because speed is key, right? At this point, I want to create images, decent images. I know I've got 3 setups coming up, maybe a set build in a minute, which we'll talk about, and I want to create interesting, engaging images as quickly as possible, right? I want to get cracking. I want to get this first change done. She's got change as well. Like, these outfits take time to get into, right? We've got a limited amount of time, so I wanted to get cracking, you know. And this is kind of like an easy hack for me on the day. You know, grab the diffusion filter out, and, you know, get some of these kind of glows coming in, and like, people love it on the day as well. Like, you know, she was like, oh my God, how are you doing that glow and that sort of thing? And like, oh, what is that? How can I, you know, where can I get one? Like, you're creating this kind of conversation and this interest and excitement on the day by doing these in-camera techniques. And when I see people going, oh, why would you do that in camera? You know, you've tied yourself down to this look. You should just do that in Photoshop. I think people really overlook the power of kind of the experience of the photo shoot on the day when you're having it with the client there in front of you, or model in front of you, and you're showing them the images, and they're like getting, oh, that's really cool, that's really interesting, oh, wow, how are you doing that? I think that has far more weight than people really realize. And if you can do anything like this in camera, long exposure or any effects like this in camera, always try and do it, because it's about creating those kind of memories, if you like, a little bit cheesy, but that's the reality of it. Like the client is going to go away and remember what was going on in the shoot, and like, oh, what was that thing he was holding in front of the camera, creating this flare. That has more weight to a photo shoot than I think many give it credit for. So yeah, that bounce blue is really just adding fill light in here, and then that, as we can see here, beautiful huge blue highlight here, and again, like the outfit's picking up all the blue as well. Kind of interesting that diffusion filter is giving these little jewels that kind of glow, kind of nice. So those of you interested, this is ISO 640 f2.8, 125th of a second. So yeah. So that's the first one. Let's have a look. I don't think. Okay, yeah, the like the glow to that, exactly. It is, and that's it, right? It's about, yes, I mean, it would be relatively easy to add later on in post that glow, right? Would be pretty easy, but your sentiment there about, lovely glow to that flare is the same thing that people on the day are saying, right? Which I think again is really important, to have that interaction, right? Hey Dave, how you doing, buddy? Ox says, yeah, great point, especially if you're able to shoot tethered so the model can see the pre-edited shots, can really help with energy on the shoot. Yeah, that's right. I think it is the energy of the shoot, like getting them excited, getting everybody, excited about the shots as they're coming out. And I kind of mentioned this before. I think I did a podcast recently when it was like analog film. It was last week, I think it was, and we were kind of talking about years ago shooting on film and that sort of thing. And 20 plus years ago, when I was doing like corporate headshots or something like that on film, and there was a little bit more black magic to it then. There's a little bit more interest and intrigue to like our craft back then than there is today, because it's like young people are just like, oh, I can just do that, I've got an app on my phone, I can do that, and everything, like there's no mystery or mystique to anything that we do anymore. It's all like the cameras do most of the work for us, and you have all these filters and one touch face retouch, like this. There's no mystery, there's no like excitement to what we do anymore. And anything that I can bring into the shoot on the day that's going to do that, like add that interest and question and engagement, of like, oh, I haven't seen that before, that's kind of cool, or where can I get one of those, like anything like that adds to the energy in terms of them leaving the shoot really excited to see the images, right? Kind of where was it? Yeah. So here's something else again, right? So this, let's come over here. So this is like, this is not going to be for everybody, but this is a tilt shift lens, right? So this is a kind of headshot, and that's on the Lensbaby Edge. Lensbaby Edge it is. And let's have a look. I don't think they're that expensive. So I use the 85. Now this price is for the housing as well. So once you've bought the housing, you can put all the different types of Lensbaby lenses in it. Oh, look at this. Just happened to be at the top of the Google there. Holy shit, I'm actually above Lensbaby's website. It's just a humble brag. So yeah, that's a very clever little lens. It doesn't cost the earth. Like if you want to get a proper tilt shift lens, it costs you an arm and a leg. But this one here, 85mm, can create some interesting shots. And again, it's about creating this kind of interest on the day and engagement, and like, what are you doing, and like, what's going on? Oh, that's an interesting effect, and that sort of thing. It's not going to be for everybody. And I'm not saying I shot the whole shoot like this. In fact, I've only kept, I think, one of them here with this tilt shift, but you can see how it just throws this bokeh just really out of focus. It is manual focus. It takes a little bit of getting used to shooting manual like that, but I could see the outfit that she was wearing, these jewels and stuff catching the light, and I was like, that's gonna look cool on tilt shift. So again, just creating something a little bit interesting. And regardless of what people say, I don't think Photoshop can emulate these sorts of things, especially when you start bringing colors into the mix as well. Like the tilt shift mixes colors on the day, whereas Photoshop just blurs them. So topic for another day. But so this second setup then was, she went away and got changed, and I was like, right, let's we can keep the same backdrop, but she wanted some standing shots. So here was cool in terms of sat down, right? Because we had this dress, I got her sat on this box. I didn't mention it before, but I mention it now. So it's about opening up this dress a little bit, see some of the fabric, see some of the colors and that sort of thing. So having her sat down like this, having the leg one leg up on a stool, again getting this seeing more of the fabric and that sort of thing. Whereas here we're going to be standing. So similar sort of process in terms of where the key light was. Nothing changed too much, but I just brought in these two blue edge lights. So I don't think, do I have a video of that? Maybe somebody got a video of that. So this is a video. So there you go. Okay, cool. So this is the setup there, and I don't think we see anything else. She's just dancing, doing her thing. So we see here, so that's that light. So we got the EOS 2 Pro there. Again, that's bounced into the board, and I've gone for this kind of deep kind of navy blue color to go against that very heavy red, sort of almost blood red, magenta outfit that she's got. So I was trying to think about what's going to go color-wise to that. And sorry, on that point, I know I keep flicking back to this, but obviously the blue and the orange, like the tealy blue and the orange to match the outfit, right? That's not rocket science, but again, in terms of the choice of colors. So we can see how, in terms of speed, haven't changed anything. I've just changed the color of this blue, so I've really ramped up the the blue, to really making it kind of like deep, almost purpley blue, and then added another Neo 3 Pro on that side with the same color and the same on that side. And then I don't think you see it there. There you go. So we've got the EOS. That's haunted. We've got the EOS 2 above, the key light again on that C stand, up nice and high. So we can see that there. So nothing crazy. And then that was it. I didn't use this is just Nikon flare. That's not a diffusion filter. And then I was just using so no diffusion filter at all, in fact, on these. So just kept it clean. The other thing as well is that having this nice big modifier off to the left there, almost acting as our fill light, right? We have these beautiful highlights which are especially apparent on darker skin. Working with colored gels, colored lights on darker skin is essentially a cheat code, really. It's very, very easy to use. A lot of lights on darker skin because it just shows up these colors. If she was pale skin, you really wouldn't see it as much as this. So the second set, fairly straightforward. And then moved on to the last set. So again, this was in terms of time, right? Cracking on. And we got one more outfit change, but he also had to kind of build this. So this kind of circle thing was off to the side, leaning against the wall. And I was like, it'd be cool if we could get some depth to the shot, right? And have her in the front, and then have this kind of textured wall. This is the wall off to the side there in the studio. Let's use that textured wall as the background. But he had to, he was like, okay, let's go for it. But he had to then join these other two wooden panels to it, so he was getting the drill out and the battens and that sort of stuff. So putting it all together. So again, this is, you know, you've got to be quick, taking advantage of the time that you've got to make it work. But yeah, you know, she got changed real quick, and we were able to pull this off. But yeah, actually probably my favorite set of the three. Let's see, do we have any videos of that? Here we go. Yeah, so we got a video here. So again, you can kind of see that separation. We've got the wooden boards there. Now I'll let this play and then I'll buzz it back. So okay, so here, this is a C stand just out of shot. Obviously you can't see it here, it's just out of shot there, and that C stand then has a light above her, but that's actually the lighting in the background. Okay, so that again is an EOS 2 Pro, yeah, and that's just on a C stand, and then boom, just creating that pool of light behind it. Now what I've done there with that one is that hasn't got a gel on it, but I've just cranked it all the way to tungsten, so what, 3000, I think it's 3000 Kelvin on the light, to make it as warm as possible. And you know, I didn't want to go full orange, but I did want it to be I don't know, I just wanted it to be a bit more organic. So going to the tungsten orange is a more of an organic look than something like this, right? Which is, you know, I don't know. This I think is far nicer and works really well with her skin, right? So, you know, in terms of coloring of her skin. And then I just threw the one EOS 2 blue on the front here. Okay, so one light behind, and then where are we? Is there another video of that one? One light behind, one light to the side. You kind of, okay. So this here, this is what I found actually pretty surprising, was that is just one EOS 2 lighting that entire, this is a mirror here, that's why it looks like there's a light pointing the other way. This is just a mirror wall. So this is just an EOS 2 Pro here, and it's just set to blue. And I kind of set it up. I was actually really amazed at how clean one light from one side is. Look at that blue. That blue looks like pretty clean, right? What I mean by that is like an even spread of blue light. So I was actually really surprised at how clean that was from kind of edge to edge. So I set it up, and I'm used to strobes, right, which are pinpoints of light, and yes, you modify them with softbox, yada yada yada, but we all know how shit softboxes are. So I was like, yeah, let's just try it, see what it looks like. And I took a shot, and I was like, that's so even. Like, it's such a clean edge to edge light from one side. Normally what I would need is you know, a light on this side and a light on that side, and kind of like even them out. But that one light across there, you know, bring it far enough back so that it's got a chance to spread, so it's not too hot on this side. Nuts. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Now what you can see from the video but you can't see in these shots, so this is a Neo 3 Pro thing, and it's just on that mini stand. So what I was getting, I was getting the studio guy there to basically hold the Neo 3 on the light stand, right? I was shooting underneath him. So sure, if we had time, we could have set up a C stand and that sort of thing, but I've just got that Neo 3 on a stand, and he's holding that stand like a fishing rod, right? And I've just got that Neo 3 just out of shot there, above, just like it's just out of shot here, and then that's just firing, you know, or like falling down onto her. So this light on her is not even a big light. It's just like a mini Neo 3, which is this, you know, which is a little tiny light like that. So, and again, yeah, he's just standing there with his fishing rod with a Neo 3 on the end of it, and actually worked really, really well. So, like, pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Thinking about layering, thinking about depth, having this wall back there, lighting that separately, you know, bringing this foreground element forward, you know, coloring that with a contrasting color to this. So I really wanted that tungsten orange back there. Works beautifully well with her skin, which is perfect. And then to contrast that in the foreground, I just, you know, wash this with blue. And then she is covered in blue, right? You can see this here, right? So she's got blue in the shadows and stuff here, right? So, and then to pick out that blue, I've just got that little neo there as close as just out of shot as possible. I don't even know whether does it appear in any shots here? It might do. I don't think it does, but I think he kept it just out of shot. I think you might see it like, oh, that's just the smoke. But yeah, just keeping it out of shot. It doesn't appear in shot there. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Yeah, I've got the just got the lights. I was just trying to look at see if there was the actual shot of the Neo 3 poking in, but no. So yeah, just keeping it out of shot, hanging it in there. If you've got somebody to help you out, that's great. Otherwise, you're going to need a C stand to, you know, get that, or you just need to edit out the light stand. It's not the end of the world, especially on a simple background like that. If I was just on my own, I didn't have a C stand, I probably would have just put the Neo 3 there and been happy editing it out, you know, because it's a structured shot. The circle is always in the middle, so it's not like we're moving around all the time. So it would have been an easy fix. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Let's have a look. Guy makes a mental note just to Nikon flare. That's right, man. That's right. Yeah, you know, some people see that as a positive, Kai. Yeah, I see it as a positive, right? So there's sharp, and then there's Nikon sharp, right? And that we just live with that. So it's the same orange light that is lighting the background, lighting her. Oh, I presume you're talking about. This previous one as my bad for not having the comments up, but yeah, so that is a separate light. So there's a light behind her there, yeah, and then there's a light on her face, yeah. So that's you can see it there just out of shot. So it's the EOS 2 Pro back there, just set to tungsten, and then this is not set to tungsten. This will be set to like 5,000 Kelvin or something like that. So that's, you know, a nice neutral color on the face, and then he's just holding it, yeah. More power than I expected. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what everybody says, and I was with you guys as well about LEDs. It wasn't until I was kind of locked in a room with Rotolight to begin with, and shown what they could do. I was like, actually, yeah, this is not the crappy LEDs that I remember from years ago. Yeah. So this is ISO 400. So this is the thing, right? And this is something that I think you can't see that because my camera's in the way, but it says ISO 400. So this is ISO 400, 38mm, f2.8, 125th of a second. Now, I don't know whether these lights are on full power. Like maybe that light behind isn't on full power. You know, I just kind of set them up, and then, you know, if the ISO went up to 400, do you know what? I'm okay with that. Like, I think actually now that I'm thinking about it as I'm talking to you, I remember thinking, should I put the power of these lights up, or should I just shoot at ISO 400 and just leave it be? And I think I made the decision just to go, do you know what? Let's just leave it at 400 and let's just, you know, let's get cracking. And I think that like the whole power thing comes from ISO is kind of a weird one because, you know, forgive me, but I kind of have the numbers, and a majority of boys and girls watching me on this live stream are a little bit older, like myself, and we're kind of used to the film world of anything above 100 ISO is a big no-no, right? And it's just not the case anymore. It's just not the case, and it's funny, you got young people coming out of art college and that sort of thing, and the ISO is like this weird number to them that doesn't really mean anything. It's got no context as to what ISO is. It's like, oh, it's on the exposure triangle, but it's just a way for me to kind of adjust the exposure, like aperture and f speed, shutter speed, and it's not the big absolute no-no that it used to be, right? They don't have this huge stigma attached to ISO like we did when we were shooting film. Plus the fact, when we bought a roll of film, it was like, well, it's ISO 100. I don't care what we're shooting today, but the camera is going to be on ISO 100. We couldn't just switch it from shoot to shoot, which is what I was doing there. I was on ISO 400. The previous shot, I think, was 640. It's you know, like, ISO is not the big hang up that it used to be. And I think a long-time follower on here, Steve, shared a video with me the other day. I don't think he's watching here tonight, but and it was just some, I don't know, 15-year-old girl who was putting out YouTube tutorials on TikTok or whatever it was about how to shoot a wedding. And it was you know, she was like, if you ever shoot at ISO 8000, you know, this is what you can do in Lightroom to mitigate some of the noise. And you just see the comments is just all like, you know, older men like myself going, oh my god, you should, that's outrageous, that's just, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, you should never be doing that. Now ISO 8000 or whatever it was obviously excessive, and yes, I would agree with some of the comments in the come on. I mean, you could have held a lighter up, and that would have added a bit more light to the shot. So yeah, I think ISO 8000 is a big you know, is a big no-no. But, you know, the technology, you know, and she was like, this is what you do in Lightroom. And I mean, you can't argue with the results. And I've said this for years, but Lightroom's anti-noise function is like black magic. I don't know how it does it, but it does an unbelievable job of reducing noise. But it just proves my point that young people today, like, ISO is just like, why is it a big deal? You know, it's not. It's just not the stigma that it was. And since I've started to use the Rotalites, you know, I don't even question it. You know, you saw me there, 200, 400, 640. It's not an issue. It really isn't an issue. Anyway, a little bit of a tangent, but, you know, I think to your point there, Kai, you said about actually more power than I expected. Yeah, I think it is. You know, I think they are. I've got Neo 2s. How much brighter are the Neo 3s? Is it worth the upgrade? In all honesty, Mark, the upgrade is going to be to the EOSs. You know, I love the Neos for the, you know, for the niche occasions where I need them, like a hair light, or like I was doing there, somebody had it on a fishing pole to light the face and that sort of thing. You would need to check the website for the exact upgrades. I never used the Neo 2s, but I would imagine that it's at least a stop or so. So my honest advice would be save up a little bit longer and get EOSs, because they're the real powerhouses in my opinion, in terms of just how clean that light is and what you can do with them. And you know, this is not me like being cocky or bragging, but when I started to use these Rotalites and LEDs, I kind of embraced the fresh challenge that using different types of lights kind of brought to the table for me. And you know, and I say that in all seriousness, it's like, oh, you know, photography is too easy for you, Jake. You know, Flash is too easy for you. Like, you need a new challenge. But I don't know. That there certainly was this interest of using a new tool and seeing what it could do. And we were pushed for time, and I said, yeah, just set up that EOS and we'll turn it blue there. And I was thinking, and in my mind, I'm thinking, if that's a flash, and maybe I've got a strip box or a softbox on there, I know that is going to grad across, and I'm going to have to try and do something, either bring in a polyboard here to try and bounce some light back in on this side. I took a shot, and it's like super even, right? And there's a couple of reasons as to why that's happening, which I won't go into, but like a larger panel size like that is collimating the light, and it's far easier to spread that light as opposed to a central point, which is what we're used to with Flash. So like those panels, those EOS panels, like that even spread from one light on the right hand side makes this is a whole new world. That makes no sense to me, right? Because if that's a Flash, that doesn't happen. I guarantee that doesn't happen. And you could feather it. You could, you know, you maybe get a big softbox and you could feather it off, and you know. But this was just whack it there, boom, turn it on, boom, we're done. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I suppose my comeback to you there is, in all honesty, just save up a bit longer and just get the EOS. Yeah. Definitely the colors and built-in flash alone makes it worthwhile. Yeah, I mean, I rarely use the flash. I used it the other day. We were doing long exposure. It's great to have it. Hey Phil, safe travels, buddy. Yeah, yeah. Have a good journey. Hope the flight goes well. Thanks for dropping by. But the flash is definitely nice. Yeah, the flash is nice if you need to. You're worried about ambient. You want to use a slightly faster shutter speed or something like that. Yeah, like the flash is definitely nice. Yeah. Press I a few times in Lightroom to bring. Oh, press I a few times in Lightroom to bring info over the photo. Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, there you go. Look, see Vlad coming in clutch. So there you go. Thank you, Vlad. Yeah, that's useful to know actually for next streams. Yeah, that's useful to know. Thanks for that. Good tip. So there you go. 125th f2.8 ISO 400. Good shout, buddy. Good shout. Even got the lens in there as well. 24 to 70. Crutch in that lens. Something rotten. Good shout, buddy. Good shout. The stigma with the ISO. I know, man. Yeah, the ISO stigma is crazy. I'm guilty of it as well. I really am. Yeah, really guilty of it. Like the camera just stayed on, especially as a studio shooter. Christ, as a studio shooter, the camera never left ISO 100. And what do you, there's just no way. So it's kind of nuts. Yeah. Yeah, my class is almost their instinct to change the ISO before anything else. Really, Chris? That's interesting. So, Chris, if you, those of you who don't know, Chris teaches and obviously does photography classes. I forget what age group you do, but I mean, I think it's, I forget what you say it was. It was either GCSE or A level, whatever it was, but it's certainly old enough. So that's really interesting, Chris, that you say that about young people today. So he says there, in my class, it's almost their instinct to change the ISO before anything else. There you go. You see, young people, it's just that there is no stigma to it. It's really weird. Yeah, really bizarre. Community college level, yeah. So what's that? I think that's 16 to 18. I think so. That'd be equivalent of A levels here. Yeah, that's a really interesting insight, Chris, and I appreciate you adding that because it's something that I've encountered, and it is weird. It is weird. Lightroom. So Vlad says Lightroom denoise is pure magic, but has no idea how to deal with some bands. Like I've seen that, Vlad. Yeah, I've seen that. Like this weird, like anti-moire kind of effect that it does, and it can leave this kind of weird grid pattern on certain fabrics. I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah. Gorgeous shot. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah. What info Lightroom displays can be set in the settings? Oh, good shout. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. And Chris says, well, we'll get a wide range of right out of high school to retirement. Oh, really? Oh, is that what community college is? Interesting. Yeah. Do we have something? Does anybody know? Do we have anything equivalent here in the UK? Because that's right. There was a show on like a comedy show, right? It's called Community or something like that. And it was like older people with younger people at college. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But a lot of them will shoot 6,400 at station. It's weird, man. It's nuts. It's crazy. Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah. That's bizarre, man. Bizarre. Well, guys, it's been great. Great conversations tonight. Yeah, it's been good chatting to you guys. Let's have a crack at some of these images that you've shared. Go through and have a look. This is the part of the stream where we go through and check out your images. So every week I get you guys to share some shots, and every live stream I'll go through them live, obviously. But yeah, I do it every Monday on the Share a Shoot post. You guys post your latest and greatest works in here, and then we go through them. Some are better than others, but it's fine. Like we respect everybody, at least tries. If we'd had some Coffee Mate in here, like maybe a bit of Caramel Coffee Mate in here, Brett, I really think that we could have just nailed it. Maybe shot this in a square, That's brilliant. Just as I'm talking about that, I come across that, priceless. I just think, the caliber of work here is outstanding. Brett notwithstanding. But yeah, so post a shot in there and we will go through it. Let's have a look. So Vlad's up first. Saw a photo promoting some nan light workshop. I just had to try the light setup. I'll say what I was going to say afterwards. Let me read this. Saw a photo promoting the nan light workshop and just had to try the light setup. The simple conclusion is that I need some new light modifiers. NECC is welcome as always, except about the stupid vertical lines where I content aware filled. I can't see that. On the sides there, is it? I'll have a look in a minute. I can't see it anyway. Lately I'm thinking about one more oddity. The way our RGB lights go so precise for one exact hue is unnatural. I'm considering getting some more. It's getting into the nuts and bolts now. The way our RGB lights go so precise for one exact hue is unnatural, and I'm considering getting some addressable RGB strips and controllers to play with and see if a slight variation wouldn't produce better results. Would you have any thoughts on this new madness of mine before I go into the AliExpress shopping spree? So correct me if I'm wrong, Vlad, but what you're saying there is that you're looking at the RGB values of certain lights, right? And what you're saying that some lights have, you'll be, what is it? Like 261 to 262, for example, on the RGB value, and you're saying you're getting a different hue. Is that what you're saying, right? And you find it weird that it steps like that, or you're saying that you want lights that have more variety. Look, I'll be honest. I mean, rotor lights in terms of the RGB that they have in there is like Mercedes level in terms of the caliber of colors that they have available. But there are certainly colors that will step with each knock of the button, and then there are other colors that you can barely tell. Now, I spent a long time reproducing the colored gels, physical gels. I spent a long time reproducing those physical gels for my preset pack to go in those lights when they were shipped. So all those lights shipped with my gel packs in them. And I spent a long time shooting side by side. Like I actually set up the EOS, and I had a black curtain down the middle, and then I set up my gels on a strobe. So, and the shot that I was shooting, camera's on a tripod, and what I'm shooting is I'm shooting the EOS simultaneously with the flash, and there's a black curtain in the middle so that the colors aren't interacting with one another. And what I was kind of doing was trying to match the gel precisely, right? So get this exact same match on this, and you have the ability to adjust the saturation as well. And this is what I think a lot of people kind of overlook with these LEDs, that I think is crazy. Again, like us talking about new ways of using the kit and that sort of thing. And the fact that these lights have a saturation value from 0 to 100 is huge, right? It's massive. And it's really it's so underutilized, I think, by a lot of people, because everybody just has like 100% saturation, right? But if you're, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. That's the arrows one. So like here, for example, right? So here I'm shooting this beautiful kind of almost cinematic, film noir, and I have this background here, which is, fake colors, but it's like the beautiful pinks and purples back there. And I can't just then crack on with the rotor lights and just, crack them out 100% saturation. So these are like dialed down to like 72%, on a certain blue, and just micromanaging those colors to really, really combine your foreground and background colors and that sort of thing. And again, like this is totally brand new in terms of, you couldn't do that with gels, right? I mean, you could have a pack of 50 gels, but it's still only 50. You don't have like the saturation values. What brand do I use for my gels? So my physical gels are is actually my own gels. So although I've been kind of shitting on color gels here, believe it or not, I do sell them. These are outstanding though, obviously. Like these are great, these gels though. But no, like jokes aside, these are the gel packs that I use day to day when I have to shoot flash and that sort of thing. And these were the gels that I was kind of matching. And just to give you an example here, I'm using pastel gels as well, right? You can't just, I think people go, oh, I'll just get these and then I'll just turn them down to get less saturation. You really need specific pastel gels to make that work. But yeah, so that, hopefully that answers your question. So I don't know what I was talking about, but yeah. Let's imagine we have 300 small LEDs. I prefer 100 of them to be hue, 261, 100 of them to be 259, 100 of them to be 253, so that the light is not emitting just... Jesus Christ, lad. Yeah, I hear where you're going with that. I do hear where you're going with that. And I'm new to this. Like the LED panels that I have, they're claiming to be like multi-lighted, so they have the full hue spectrum from like the Kelvin range as well as the color range. I do take your point in terms of maybe there is more lights, like specifically have more hues. Are you talking about mixing them yourselves then, like actually getting more of these LEDs, making them yourself? Be interesting. Yeah. Brett says hopefully they make it to the UK. So far so good. nice. That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. Where we're looking about, talking about Vlad's image. So CC on this, I for a shot like this, I would prefer a longer lens personally, just to compress this. When we have the limbs outstretched like this, I just prefer a more of a compressed image, as in compressed focal length. That's just personal preference. But otherwise, like the glow and stuff, I think works well. I may, it's again, like some people would argue that what you've done here is perfect by the nose not cutting through the edge of the face. So I know this is a self-portrait, so it's really difficult for you to be able to see for yourself. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This is kind of cool here, where we see this light contrasted against this arm and stuff. So I like what you've done with the pose to try and exaggerate that. That could be really cool. So yeah, just in terms of the feedback there. Other than that, it's just going to be to maybe round out these corners. You can buy those covers that go over softboxes to make the octaboxes into a circle. They're kind of cool. If you were to do more of this sort of setup, I know you just playing with it and that sort of thing. If this was to become like a regular setup, or if anybody was trying to do this as a regular setup, you can buy those covers that basically turn your octabox into a circle, which is kind of cool. But yeah, otherwise I think it's just beautiful. Oh, this is the Transylvania shots. No, I remember these. Yeah, nice. Check this though, that's nuts. I love this one. How have I never seen this one before? That's so cool, man. That's awesome. Wow, beautiful. Colors in that are absolutely incredible, Vlad. Yeah, beautiful. Nice. The classic cinema moonlight bright blue. yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing those, Vlad. And yeah, I get the feeling I'm not fully understanding your point about the LEDs there, so maybe I'll have to reread that again when I'm not on stream, just to try and make sense of what you're getting at. I love that green and orange in that last one. I know this is, like the colours in that, absolutely phenomenal. Gorgeous, yeah. Had no idea I could get covers for octaboxes. I'll look into it. And Nanlite has round softboxes for some square panels, but they're still not contacting to sponsor me. So that's what I was going to say. So they actually reached out to me last week. Nanlite reached out to me last week, and they wanted to chat. I'm supposed to have a meeting with them this week. look, I mean, full disclosure, you guys know this, but you know, I'm a master of light for Rotalight. So I don't know. In the past, lighting sponsors have been fairly open with it. Like, so when I worked for Bowens for years, I was like, look, you know, there are images that I need to create that maybe you don't make a modifier for or something like that. Are you guys cool with that? And they were like, yeah, look, if you're doing a shot and you can and we make the product, we want you to use it. But if you're doing a shot and we don't make the product, yeah, it's totally fine. So as much as I love the Rotalights, there are aspects of lighting that I would like to cover, which is kind of why they look a little bit, you know, they kind of tolerate the fact that I use some of the Godox S-fits, right? So like maybe I need to see what Nanlight say, what they want to do, what they want to do, but hopefully Rotalight are okay, as long as, you know, okay with me using some of their lights, as long as it doesn't conflict with them. Obviously I would never use Nanlight panels, but if they're going to chuck me some of the tubes to play with, then I don't see that as being conflicting with Rotalight. But look, if we never hear from, if you never hear from me mention it again, then you know what's happened. Yeah. The covers for softboxes, there's actually a few of them. There's so obviously you got the whatever they're called, and they just have a cover that just makes like a tiny black edge, and it's just a circle in the middle. The other ones you can get for strip boxes that are really cool. So people that have strip boxes in the back, and you can just buy a cover for your strip box that has these kind of stadium lights in them. It's really cool. Yeah. So rather than having this ugly ass, strip box behind the model, you have this cool, like, you know, stadium lights or something like that, which is awesome. Yeah. All right, that's enough looking at Vlad's naked body. Let's have a look at what Chris is working on here. Oh, this is cool, man. Yeah, here's another one from the same Cyberpunk style shoot. I was trying to go off some of your previous tutorials, particularly with the full light on the ground. Is that supposed to be fill light? This time with blue gelled umbrella above, orange gel in a parabolic aimed as a backlight. Okay, yeah. And red gelled umbrella aimed at her lower body, bounced off the miler on the floor beneath her. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Overall, I'm happy, though I do feel like I didn't always keep the best separation and was straining to light their faces without having to look upwards a lot. Any tips above? Lighting as a key light so that they don't strain their necks too much. Okay, I think I hear what you're getting at. So let me just quickly go over that again. Blue gelled umbrella above, so this is above here, which is what he's talking about here. Orange gel in a parabolic aimed as a backlight, which I presume is this orange light here. And then we have a red gel aimed at her lower body, bounced off the miler. So she's standing on this silver sort of like tinfoil material, like shiny silver material. And what he's doing is bouncing the red light off of that to actually light her bottom half. Clever idea, like it a lot. It works really well, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep the two lights separate, right? So overall I'm happy with it. Get the best separation. I think separation is good though, man. I think separations you done really well. Like it looks like, I mean, like there's some red here, but he's lost so much power that I don't think it's an issue. So I think the separation you've done really well. Any tips on the above? Lighting as a key light so you don't strain your necks looking up. Yeah. So you kind of saw what I just did in my previous shots, right? You kind of saw what I was doing here with these lights. Yeah, you could kind of see where let's have a look. Is it the first one? Yeah. So I don't have them above coming straight down. I do have them just above like the camera, and as a general rule of thumb, they kind of need to be like arms reach away, like just like the model, as in where the model is. Like if they're reaching out, it kind of needs to be like just out of arm's reach. Okay, so that's where that's how far I have it away, and then I do have it further forward. Now, you may be concerned about maybe the spill onto the down here. Is that why you didn't want that blue too far forward? It should be okay though. I still think if you had it further forward, it should be fine. The other thing as well is that I'll be totally honest with you. I just have the chin up slightly. I just get them to have the chin up. That helps with the separation of light as well. So I don't think I've got an immediate example. Maybe from one of the test shots. Okay, here. So this is a similar thing to what you're doing, right? So here, so her chin's just up slightly, right? It doesn't need to be, all the way up, as long as that light is out in front of her, not above her, right? So as long as it's not above her and it's out in front of her, you should be fine. And then that light is just coming directly down onto the face, and that will help, because this is kind of similar to the setup that you're doing there. Okay, I'm doing it a slightly different way here, but just in terms of the separation, look how cleanly separated this fill light is compared to that top light. Now, as soon as that chin comes down, we get this whole mess of color on the face. So this article here, there you go. Right, this is what happens when that chin comes down. Right, see this weird kind of where the lighting is coming up the face, where that fill light is kind of not looking good at all. So this is actually a good article to just have a look at and see. So this article is basically titled "Reading the Light," and it's about what we do with the kind of the setup you're talking about, having this key light and fill light, like how to have the face. So as soon as that chin comes down, we get this fill light. Okay, now as long as that chin is up, or we do something with the posing. See, we've got this arm coming across here, which is stopping, so she can have her chin down, but the arm is across, so it's stopping that light from coming up. But yeah, just about here as well. So not even just like that, but having a side like this is kind of the best. This is what I prefer, rather than it being straight on, having it at this nice angle. So what happens then is you have this fill light bathing in the bottom half of the face, and then the key light lighting the top half. So this is kind of like this is kind of like the sweet spot for me when you're doing that technique. Yeah. I think it was just like had the light directly above too much. Exactly right. I think that's what it is, buddy. Yeah, I think that's all it is. I think it's absolutely fine. I think the setup works really well, and I think the light above. If anybody's interested, I'll just grab this. Did it? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, yes, there you go. Yeah, I think the setup that you did worked because it's kind of a little bit spooky. She's got where are we here? Nope, we're there. So I think it kind of works because she's got this kind of, they got like white lenses in there. She's kind of looks like a zombie, that sort of thing. So I think this setup works. The setup that I'm suggesting is more of a fashion editorial where we've got that correct lighting. I think this is kind of leaves it a little bit spookier. So I think it works actually better in this context. So yeah, I think it's cool. But if you wanted to just bring that light slightly further forward and just angle it more onto the face, and you should be fine. Yeah. And again, thinking about how far away it is, it's not like stuck to the ceiling. It's like arm's reach away. It's just out of shot. Yeah. So sorry, Ahmed, I missed your. So I might ask about the gels. He's following up. I noticed gels have different tones and different flash power. And for example, when I buy gels from Lee, I noticed I can't reach the same tone. When you sell the gels, do you recommend specific white balance and flash power? Great questions, Ahmed. Yeah, great questions. The simple answer is no, but there is. Let's just have a quick look. I think it's. In fact, is it just faster to? Let's have a look. So Vlad says it's just faster to use Google to find an article on my website. He's not wrong. This article is, I mean, 10 years old now. God, 10 years. That's nuts. Anyway, yeah. So this article's a bit old now, but it still holds true today. And you're right in that the power of your flash is going to dramatically change the type of color that you get from your gel, right? So here, this grid, if you like, is just all of my gels in the gel packs, but at different flash powers. Yeah, so f2, 2.8, 4, 5, yeah, etc. So here we can see at the top, for example, there is not much light going through the gels. So as a result of that, the gels actually tend to be darker, and because of that darkness, they tend to have this richer color to them. Okay, so most people, when they start out using gels, they'll set them up in the studio. I used to see this all the time when I was managing in the studio. You get new guys coming in, and what they would do is they'd put the gel on the light, and they'd go, it's not really much saturation. I want more color. I'm going to increase the power to give me more color. I understand why people do that, but it's actually the opposite of what you should be doing. Because as we increase the power, the gels actually get washed out. Yeah, as you can see down here, like down here, we start to put a lot of power through these blues, for example, and they get washed out. So here, for example, like this orangey gel here, if we put a lot of power through that, we get this nice sunburst yellow color. If we don't put much power through it, we get almost this ochre orangey color. So there's no right or wrong here. I just want to highlight to you, based on your question, that the colors that you get can vary based on the power of the light that you put through them. To answer the second part of your question there about Kelvin, when I'm shooting gels, my gels, I shoot at 4,500 Kelvin in my camera. Side note, I have found that when I'm shooting LEDs, I'm shooting closer to 5,000, maybe 5.2 Kelvin. I'm still working through that, but yeah. So when I'm shooting my gels, I set my camera to 4,500 Kelvin. It's a little bit colder than what you would normally expect, but I just prefer the colors that come from that when they're set like that. Hopefully that helps. And I'll pop the link in there for you as well. Go for it, Mark. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Darren says, lights like water, color gels are like juice, more water, less intensive taste. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I tend to, yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, no worries, Ahmed. No worries. And by all means, look. I mean, you have a look from my website. There's like literally hundreds of free articles on here. A huge amount of them are dedicated to colored lighting. So just over here, just head over to the techniques, and you can either head into the latest techniques. There is stuff in the archives as well. But yeah, just have a look through. There's tons and tons of free stuff on there as well. The other thing as well, if you wanted to, I do a free studio lighting book. When you click on this, it just tells you to sign up with your email, and then you can just download the book on studio lighting. So that's also got some useful tips in there as well. Is there now? No worries, Mark. I'll just give that a refresh before I forget. So up next, we got Brett's work of art here. Absolutely incredible. Just wow. I mean, I think it says so much about humanity today. The juxtaposition between nature and the flaming hot Cheetos, and just what that says about where we're going. I find incredible. I really like the soft pastel tones behind compared to the rich saturated colors in the foreground. Helps to add separation between those two, you know, which I think again is a brilliant idea. Nice top light as well, which is exactly what you want for product photography. Having this top light above, again, just to add that extra separation, and beautiful highlight here to demonstrate the texture of that foreground. Mate, absolutely nailed it. This is actually, I hope you don't mind me saying, one of your best pieces. Let's have a look. Mark snuck in here last minute. This is cool, man. Yeah, sorry, lastminute.com. First attempt at trash bag fashion shoot with gels. Love it. Yeah, this is really cool, and really cool for several reasons. Obviously, one, you know, color, but you know, secondly, I think that, you know, using like stuff like this, like where we can actually, like gels, colored lights, loves this type of fabric, right? It's just something shiny, lots of folds and creases in it. Like, yeah, this is really cool, really cool. Also, love the pose, right? And I don't really talk too much about posing, but this is a great example of what I'm looking for with posing, and what I would encourage models to be looking for as well is this constant flow throughout the image, right? So if we look here, we've got this flow throughout the image, right? This is what we're looking for. Yeah, this is actually, you know, really nice pose. And I never shoot full body. One of the reasons I don't shoot full body is because with the aspect ratio that we have, 2:3, you just have so much dead space. Whereas this pose like this helps to break that up, right? So we're actually taking advantage of this space. So I know I've just obviously picked up the model. Your image is great too, Mark. The model is doing a great job as well. I just wanted to kind of drop that in there because, you know, I think people ask about posing and that sort of thing. It's kind of, you know, this is what I'm looking for. So just in terms of feedback, it feels like some of these lights may be a touch overexposed, and this kind of speaks to what we were just talking about a minute ago from Omid's question there about the exposure of gels and that sort of thing. If they're too bright, what happens is they tend to burn out. So this, in my opinion, yeah, these are a little bit overexposed. So what we have is this color breakup here with the oranges and stuff from this red light is kind of being broken up here. So there's a couple of things we can do is like either try and get a larger light source. The cheapest way to do that is to buy a bigger umbrella, for example. That's going to help to spread that light, and that's going to mean that, because you're going to be like, well, Jake, if I turn it down, the foot's going to go dark. And you're right, that is another reason why I don't shoot full body. But the one way around it is to change the size of the modifier and how close that modifier is, to try and work with that inverse square law to manage that drop off that we'd be dealing with. The simple answer is to get a large umbrella, to get more spread, and if you want to shoot more full body, that umbrella can be just out of shot and we'll still have more of an even spread. But yeah, a little bit overexposed. The other thing to watch out for is the height of these lights. So, you know, it looks like that blue light is maybe here. As a result of that, we're lighting underneath, but we're not getting any light on top. So we always want to make sure we bring that light up. We always want that light coming down onto the subject. Okay. Oh. Hopefully that helps. Really cool though, and I love what you were going for in terms of the separation of light. It's really strong. Color works really well with the blues we got going on here and the reds. Like, it's really strong image. Yeah, it's just about fine tuning it just a little bit. Yeah. And the biggest problem was for me with the gels washing out with it. Where was that? Oh, was your original question, Ahmed, and Kai's answered it with, considering that you got fewer pixels on your sensor for pure blue, red, green. Is that what he was referring to? Kai is right though, in that there are certain colors that really struggle, like reds, for example. It's really, like, the chip really struggles to deal with rich reds. So, like, from me, I'm not sure if this is what Kai is referring to, but for me, my experience, like reds and blues, I really consciously underexpose my reds and blues to make sure that we're not clipping any data in the colors, because they have the chips have a tough time reading those colors, which again is what Mark may well have been falling into with that clipping of color as well. We've got to be careful with the reds and the blues. Yeah. I have a technical question also about how to work with models. Have you ever had an experience where a model doesn't like the edit and ask you to change something? How do you manage the situation? I think you just got to take it on the chin. I mean, I think it's part of the, it's just part of the learning process. Years ago, like, it hasn't happened, touch wood, for many years, but yeah, like, it happens to all of us. I mean, it happens to all of us. So yeah, don't be too offended by it. I've had models go, you've retouched me too much, you haven't retouched me enough. Like, when you've been doing it long enough, your images will all start to look the same, right? So, if somebody's going on to, like they're going onto my website and they're looking at my images and they complain about skin retouching, they don't complain about it because all my images look the same, right? So you wouldn't come to me if you didn't like the skin retouching I do. So, but again, like, over time, you'll have more of a body of work, and people will know exactly what they're getting. So the reason they're having this issue with you at the moment is that their idea in their head is different to what you've shown them. Okay. Now, you'll get better at getting it dialed in camera on the day, and if they're seeing that, they shouldn't have an issue coming back to you. But if it's going to be an issue, years ago I was like, you know what, yeah, this was a test shoot, you don't think I've retouched your skin enough. Like, it was a different time back then. Like, we're going back nearly 10 years, I suppose, where like everything was plastic, and she wanted to look plastic. I was like, look, you know what, here's the image. If you want to retouch it yourself, crack on. Just do not put my name anywhere near it. Would I do that again today? I think it depends. Like, if she's got 60 followers, like, crack on. She's got 150,000 followers. It's not worth it. So yeah, I think you just got to judge it. But yeah, don't be too offended. It happens to all of us. It's just like, everybody's perception of what an image should look like is different. Yeah, I wouldn't get too offended. I think it is easy to be offended. Like, I know when she said it to me years ago, I was like, how dare you? But yeah, I promise you, as you get more experienced, it'll happen less and less. Yeah. It is precisely what I Photoshop. Yeah, I also used it to remove lots of skin blemishes from a model, e.g. stretch marks, and nearly gone in pure red. Clever. Yeah, I like that idea, Kai. Yeah, clever. Yeah, good thinking. Yeah. Rafaela, beautiful image, Rafaela. I'm sure you've left because we've been going on a long time. But yeah, a shoot I'm still working on. I made a color version with orange and teal, and now I can't decide which color ray to go with. I think this is more 80s, 90s than orange teal. Interesting. Okay, so you shot this orange teal to begin with, and you've kind of pushed this. I think this is different. I would, yeah, I think, everybody. Are you still here? No worries, Rafaela. I mean, I don't know. I think everybody and their grandmother's shooting orange and teal at the moment. I think I would go with this. Nobody has to know that you didn't shoot it, or you didn't shoot it pink and blue at the time. I would go with this personally. Yeah, I think this is a little bit different. I like it. Yeah, I love what you've done here with the retouch. If you've done any retouch, it looks very clean, very smooth. I love the separation that we've got between this orange and blue. I think it mixes really well. Yeah. I think you've got a really nice balance there, and actually a pretty powerful crop as well. I think a lot of people are too afraid to aggressively crop like this. I really like the composition that you've gone with. I think it is very her kind of looking away and at the edge of frame on here, and just cutting right across the forehead. I think it's bold. I think it works really well, especially with the the jacket coming off the shoulder here as well. I think it's good. Yeah. I think we've got a lot. I think there's a lot going on in this shot. Even just the simple like feature of the the added energy from these earrings, I think add a lot to it, especially seeing as they're just like pure black in the shot. I think it's a great shot, beautiful. Love the colors in it as well. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, if I was to be really nitpicky, I would, maybe push that blue just a tiny bit further back behind her, just be careful of that blue hitting the nose here. Do you know what? It's not an issue though. It's just something to be mindful of. I think this is fine, but just something to be mindful of next time. Just thinking about where that blue is. Like we have blue here. It's clean. You get away with it, but just be careful of these gels hitting the nose sometimes. Yeah. Hey, Nick, K down, man. I just had a beauty pageant model say how much she liked them, but then I ran a process over them after with her manager that basically redid her hair and super smooth the skin. What they took the images and then they reran the process. Wow. Okay. Yikes. Yeah. I mean that happens a lot as well. Sadly, where people. I mean, back to Amid's question there about somebody wanting to change something. Like at least you got asked. What Chris is saying here is that they go, oh yeah, cool, thanks very much, take the images and then just absolutely destroy them. Is a tough one. So Chris is in a tough spot now in that, what does he say? Like, take those down, how dare you don't own the rights to them, I'm the legal owner of those images, and I withdraw the right for you to share those images, take them down, they are not representative of my work. Okay, that's one thing that he can say and do. Like, nobody wins in that situation, right? A, they're probably not going to take them down. B, they're going to be pissed off. They're going to spread nothing but bad news about you. It's just loss there, really. Like, one thing that he can do is just go, look, I gave you the images with the style that I shoot. You were happy with them before. Would you mind only posting the ones online where you haven't done that process to them, please? If you want to process them and print them out in your own home or something like that, that's absolutely fine. But can I ask that you only show the images that I've given you online? That's the other middle ground. And then the final option is just to go, if you're going to post them like that, can I ask that you remove my name and any association with me when you're posting them? Okay, that's kind of like the three options you've got. I would try the route first of going, look, would you mind only posting them like my style? Obviously, I've got that's my business. This is how I shoot. When other people see your images, I would like them to see them as I intended. If you want to do them in your own home, crack on. But yeah, that would be kind of like the only middle ground that you could take there. Yeah. So Rafaela says, no, I shot it like this, pink and blue. Nice. Okay, that's even better. Cool. You tried orange and teal at the day. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I would go with it. I think you made the right call, Rafaela, in doing this. Like I said, I think orange and teal is, like, don't get me wrong, it's an easy win. I'm known for it. Whenever I post an orange and teal image, everybody loses their mind and it gets, thousands of likes and it's like, great. But, I know it's like, oh, Jake, to have your troubles. I get that. But, yeah, people do love it. But I do think that, it's nice to, break out of that. So I would stick with this personally, yeah. Yeah, they did. Asked if there was anything more specific they wanted, and she said, no, they do this with all her images. I mean, yeah, it's nothing you can do. At least you were trying to be amicable with them. Hey, no worries, Ahmed. Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Anders, nice. I think Anders was here at the start. I'm not sure if he's still here. I did a photo shoot in a gym last week. Nice, on location. Always love that challenge. And it was mostly ordinarily training and fitness pictures, but at the end I tried some colored work as well for me. Nice, love that approach. For me, it was new to do this kind of work on location. Turned out okay, but maybe I should have had the teal light as a main instead of the magenta. And I think the orange yellow light was a bit too hot. Also, I think I should have lightened something in the background as well. Now it looks more like a studio shot. It was a good experience. Which advice do you have? Yeah, I mean, look, first off, man, yeah, I mean, doing any sort of studio setup on location, especially in a gym, is tough, right? So hats off to you for doing that. secondly, hats off to you for pushing yourself to not only do what the client wanted, but go above and beyond and do extra types of looks and shots as well, right? Because the client doesn't know what they like until they see it, right? Let's be honest. And if they came to you asking for fitness shots, like, maybe that's all they know how to ask for. So I think you know, pushing to go, look, let's do some of these cool, colorful ones as well, I think is great, in that, you know, it gives you more options for sales, and it goes above and beyond for the client as well. So I think it's, yeah, I think hats off to you on several fronts there. And let's have a look at your analysis of your image. Maybe I should have had the teal light as the main instead of the magenta. So yeah. So the teal or the bluish color is going to be a dominant color, and the magenta is a recessive color. So what that means is that the key light really should be the dominant color, which in this instance would be the blue, and then we can use the recessive, like, reddish color as our fill light. So, like, this still works. You know, it's good to experiment, but yeah. I think your analysis is correct, and I would agree with that. Switch it to the teal. I think the orange and yellow light was a bit too hot. Like, maybe on the cusp, but, you know, really the telltale sign here is in frizzy, like, kind of very fair flyaway hair like this, and we haven't clipped, right? We haven't clipped to white, so. Like, don't get me wrong, this is close, but I would say that you are within the parameters of being okay. Unless you're going, I don't want the flare, then yeah, just turn that down a bit, and that will remove some of the flare. But in terms of the exposure, like, it's like, you know, it's too hot when it clips to white. So at the moment, I would say we're just in line. Also, I think I should have lightened the background as well. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether you've got a backdrop there or whether you've just thrown the gym to pure blackness. But yeah, for me, I carry a dark grey. If I'm on location in the gym, I'll just take a dark grey window blind. Okay, you know, they're long enough to fit in the car. They don't weigh anything. You know, if the worst happens, they're not crazy expensive. They're easy to clean. You know, you're not taking 400 weight of Colorama. So yeah, just a dark grey window blind, and that dark grey will help reduce this issue that you've got here, right? Because you'll have some light on that background. So Chris says, really like the idea of doing some of your creative ideas at the end of after you got the main client shots. 100%, Chris, and that's how, you know, some of you guys have heard this from me before, but that's how I got my foot in the door, and, you know, and saw some growth. Was, you know, I was working in the studio, white background stuff. That's what clients wanted, and this is what I would do. You know, after I would get their shots, and then, you know, we've got 40 minutes left of the shoot. Would you mind if I did something creative? And this is how I started to play with the colored gels. And yeah, you know, over time, clients came in for the white background stuff, left with the colored shots, right? Because clients don't know what they want until they see it. So 100%, I would always recommend, you know, what Anders is doing here, always recommend doing that, you know, push it at the end. You know, at the time, I was doing it to stop myself from going insane, from just shooting white background stuff. I wanted to do something creative. And, you know, I'm guessing Anders had the same vibe. So yeah, always a good idea. Anders also follows up saying here, I used a black mist filter to get the yellow glow. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so that's like a diffusion filter similar to what I would use. Black Pro Mist is, you know, is a great example. There's plenty of other ones out there. You know, I use the Lee diffusion softs, whatever they're called. You can get there's like glows, or if you wanted to test it out, you could just buy a UV filter for $5 and then just spray hairspray on it. It's going to do the same thing. Yeah. We're going to be finishing strong with Kai's image here. Absolutely incredible shot. From a shoot I did for a lingerie designer that took an artistic twist. It's a shoot in a very small studio, using Photoshop's new generative expansion to make the space grow significantly, then adding the pink blue flower in editing, which was built from a sunset. Oh, I know the lamp you mean. Yeah, from a sunset LED lamp behind the model. Interesting. Studio ceiling height is no more than 2.4 meters. The model is lit by 2 Pavo tubes, so they're the nan lights, 30x LED tubes, shot with the Sony A7R, and that clinical look that we all love to hate. I respect it, Guy. I respect it. Yeah, yeah. Hey, no worries, Anders. No worries. So I've kind of seen these. I think my wife's got one actually. This sunset LED lamp, kind of a weird. I'd be interested to see what it actually looked like originally, just to see how you kind of turned it into this. But I bet the client was loving this. So I think in this instance you're probably fine. One kind of issues that we kind of like can fall into in this situation is, okay, the client doesn't see it on the day, so you've got this amazing idea. You're like, yeah, I can't wait. You trust me, it's going to look amazing. I'll go home, edit it, and show you. And it's not quite what they think. So that's kind of like one issue that we can struggle with editing in post. The other issue is she loves it, but I can't see the lingerie. So we have this kind of dichotomy thing here. It's great to have options. Like if I was to do something like this, I would make sure I do both. We've just been speaking about doing what the client wants and then going above and beyond, doing something different. This would be a great example of that. You know, just getting the close-ups, boom. 105 mil, just absolutely nailing that. Torso shot, whatever it is that you needed. And then having this as well, like something as an extra, I think would totally blow the client away. But this is great though. Yeah, really cool. Gorgeous colors, absolutely gorgeous colors. Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah. Just again, this is kind of difficult because you've kind of explained the issue that you have with the ceiling height, but I'm just looking at where that blue light is, and it looks like, from what I can see here, is it's not quite high enough. Just coming up here, I would kind of want to see. I know you're limited with height, but I would want to see it at least up to the ceiling there at 2.5, just to come down on the model a bit more, because at the moment we're kind of lighting underneath, as opposed to we would want to be lighting on top like that. Yeah. So just like this is minimal. I don't think anybody's going to argue it. It's just something to bear in mind for future is all. Yeah. Cool shot though, gorgeous colors, and I'm really interested as to what this looked like originally. Because this is a nuts, like. Obviously totally original, nobody's going to have that. It's going to be brand new. Love the use of modern tech within the photo as well. And this just, kind of like, what is it? It's like a rock formation, flower. Yeah, really, really interesting. Yeah. The blue light was not high enough. Fucked up there. No worries, guy. Respect it. Yeah, love it. Yeah. When he says, this is the extra. Excellent. So he's got everything else, and then he's doing this above and beyond for the client. Yeah, you guys are nailing it. Yeah, you're doing everything right. I love it. Yeah. So Omid says here, if you would start photography again, what genre would you shoot, and what would you start to learn more? I think it's an interesting question, and I think that some people can get a little bit confused at this when they're starting out, and because I think it's sometimes harder to find your way today. Yes, it's super easy with YouTube. We can just do everything, right? But that is also simultaneously our biggest problem, in that because everything is available to us, like, where do I go? Or I can do some long exposure over there with PAR. I can do some composites with Flern. I can do some color gels with Jake. I can just access all of this instantly. How do I find what to focus on, right? So I totally get that it can be difficult. So I think what some young people kind of get worried about is finding their photographic style, and how did you I get one of the questions I always get asked in interviews is like, how did you find your photographic style, yada yada. And it's just something that is in all of us, and the more that you shoot, the more that you will find what you're passionate about, right? So it's not like I left art college, and as we were leaving on the final day, it's like, right, you're doing HDR, you're doing black and white, you're doing color gels. That's not how it works, When I was in art college, I was doing some of this long exposure portraits and that sort of stuff. I've been doing it for like 20 plus years. And then I didn't touch it again for years and years and years. And then I come back to it and revisit it and that sort of thing. So I think, experiment with different ideas, see what works for you, see what draws you in. If you're drawn to the colored lighting, which you are at the moment, then great. Learn it, play with it. But then, if it's not lighting your fire, then go out and do some long exposure stuff with light painting and try that. I think some people can chase the money sometimes, and that's cool. I get it. Everybody's got to eat. I get it. I'm not that guy. I could be making a lot of money if I was to chase the money and do certain things. Like there's certain jobs that I get offered that I'm just like, I'm not, I'm not interested in doing that. Thanks very much. And that's not going to be. I'm very fortunate. That's not going to be an option for everybody. So that can also change the way that you shoot as well. But I think if you're just starting out, shoot what you're drawn to, shoot what you're passionate about, try out all these, different ideas, and we have all this information freely available to us on YouTube, and that's just get stuck in. There's loads if you want. Like I think I've said to you a minute ago, but there's tons of free articles on the website about colored lighting that you can play with. So you just have a go with that. Yeah. I think Kai just said he uploaded the raw. Let's have a look. Oh, Omid's popped in some here. Nice. Okay. Nice. So he's popped in a couple of these, which is excellent. Yeah. So there's some. Thanks for sharing those, Omid. Appreciate that. So he shared some of his images in here. He's playing with these, geometrics with colors and stuff. This is great. You see, this is like experimenting, playing with different colors and lights and ideas, and just like this is what it's about, really. Just getting stuck in, see what works with you. Yeah, really cool. Love those. Yeah, excellent, mate. Yeah, really nice. Yeah. Kai said he's shown us the raw for something. Let's have a look. It is that sunset light. It is that. Yeah, I've got that upstairs. Ain't it nice, man? Okay, that's really cool. Oh, and this is where the blue light was in terms of it not being high enough. Ah, interesting. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Kai. That's useful, man. Yeah, it's useful. It is that little fella. Yeah. And it's great if you're working with constant light LEDs already. Then yeah, this little sunset light you can pick up off AliExpress for a few quid. Yeah, they're really interesting. Yeah. Your image get hidden, John, did it? I didn't see it there, mate. Yeah, I'll have a double check. Yeah. Thanks for posting that, Kai. Appreciate that. Let's have a look. Oh, there you go, mate. There you go. Right, let's finish up with this one. I mean, finishing strong. Beautiful shot. This is from a shoot I did a couple of years ago, playing around with long exposures. From memory, is that Youngyo, or is that YN speed lights and a newer RGB flash panel speed light with a flash bender nice on it, given the blue streak in the background? Okay. 2 round flash beauty dishes to the left of camera to put some white light on her face, and the legs LED panel was on the right of camera set to the pink purple. Curious to hear your thoughts. Man, this is awesome. I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff going on here. Difficult technique as well, right? Any long exposure light painting, whatever you want to do, is difficult, right? It's difficult to do. So I take my hats off to anybody that tries it, and especially people that nail it like this. Secondly, one thing that I think people can get lost on with long exposure stuff for me and light painting is that the model and the subject doesn't match the kind of energy that we see with light painting and long exposure, right? So that this I think works really well. We have this really energetic pose and expression, like this really focused, and then we have this kind of energy with the movement as well, because long exposure is looks like the image is vibrating with stuff going on, and then you have somebody looking like demure in it. It just doesn't work, right? So I think matching the pose and expression with the technique, I think, is paramount, and you've nailed it here. Yeah. Like the white light on her face looks in a good spot, right? It has to be round to that side, otherwise we'll ruin on this side. Ordinarily I'd say bring it round a little bit more, but I think you've got it in the right place there to have that split lighting to keep that side of the face dark. I think you've nailed it. I'm not seeing any blue movement back here. I love this blue background, but I'm not seeing the movement that you suggested with that. We've just got just enough separation here on the subject to keep her separated from the background, you know, foreground and background. So John, I would say this is a cracking image, buddy. Yeah, really, really good, really, really strong. You know, nice separation of the colors, having the still and the ambient light separated, strong contrasting colors between the pink and the blue. Honestly, man, there's nothing that stands out to me here that I would be like, if we'd done this, could have bumped it up. Yeah, a lot of positives there, man. The blue was a flash. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, for some reason I've read it as the blue streak in the speed light with the flash bender, giving it the blue streak. Oh, in my mind I just read streak as in like streak of light. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So honestly, yeah, great shot, John. Yeah, great shot. Nothing springs out to me that we need to change. You know, with shots like this, just maybe be more, you know, if you have the ability to change the styling with some of these dark shots, that can help to just avoid there being a black blob. But we get away with it here because of the movement. I think that black blob maybe helps to highlight some of the long exposure light trails here. But yeah, just something to think about. Yeah, really, really good image. Love it. So I did bring not a sponsor lifespan, which was a mistake. Oh, for the tube, right? Because the tube didn't go high enough. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, Young Yo, whatever. I know, right? I don't know how I spelled either. Yeah. So thank you for that, John. Yeah, thank you for getting me to check that. I'm glad we didn't miss that one. That was a cracking shot. I mean, another gorgeous crop of images, guys. Absolutely outstanding. Yeah, really, really good. Brilliant shots. As always, we're just going to wrap this up here. We covered a ton tonight. It was super late. My dinner's absolutely going to be cold now. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Thank you for all your help at the start there with ideas for that spotlight. I'll have a think about what we can do with that. Don't forget, I do online workshops. So I'm still doing those, which is great for people around the world. So, you know, do all of my lighting workshops and do them one-to-one via video calls. So you guys get all the PDFs and lighting setups and that sort of thing, and then I go through and explain everything, you know, in looking at the raws and all that sort of stuff. So check those out. Also, there's other things as well, like the mentoring, where we can do some more detailed portfolio reviews as well as personalized retouching. So it's interesting, yeah, you send me the raws and then I'll retouch them with you live and talk about what we're doing to try and get the most out of your images. So yeah, check that out as well. But otherwise, guys, yeah, those of you in the UK, Londonish area, remember we've got a Rotalight workshop on September the 2nd, I think, in London. Yeah, so be sure to check that out. That'd be interesting. That'd be good. So I think we'll have 3 models on the day, so that'd be cool. So yeah, make sure that, yeah, no worries, Chris. Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks again to everybody that tuned in. Really appreciate that. And yeah, look, if you're new here, and you know, don't forget, website has got tons and tons of free articles on there on everything from LEDs outside to strobes to gels and that sort of stuff. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, all right then, guys. Thanks so much. If you missed any of this, I'm going to try and put the VoD up on YouTube as well. Obviously, you can watch it again on here, but yeah, I'll try and put the VoD up on here the next couple of days as well. But yeah, thanks so much, and I shall catch you hopefully 2 weeks' time. Yeah, do it all again in 2 weeks. Take care, guys. Speak to you then.